Welcome to the Hinterlands. This weekly show whips together stories from the hinterlands of Nepal, takes you beyond the cities and highways into the heart of Nepal's rural landscapes. It's a country alive with stories, laughter, ideas, and everyday magic. I'm Rosina Rai, and we will be leading you into this journey every week. Nepal has always stood proudly on the global stage for its rich history and cultural legacy, including Kapilvastu, the birthplace of Lord Gautam Buddha. Tonight we travel in this sacred land where Nepal's heritage has once again captured international attention. Archaeologists have uncovered the country's first ever aspidal Buddhist temple in the ancient city of Kapilvastu, a rare and remarkable discovery. Experts say the finds offers fresh insight into early Buddhist architecture in South Asia, shedding new light on the region's spiritual and historical evolution.
Nepal's rich cultural and historical heritage has captured global attention once again. Archaeologists have uncovered the country's first apsidal Buddhist temple in the ancient city of Tilarakot, Kapilvastu, located in Lumini province, southern Nepal, near the birthplace of Lord Buddha. This rare discovery provides new insight into early Buddhist architecture in South Asia. The excavation was conducted by a joint team from Nepal's Department of Archaeology, the Lumini Development Trust, and the University of Durham, United Kingdom. Apsidal temples, recognized by their curved or rounded rear ends, are considered a unique type of religious monument in South Asia. Early apsidal temples were carved from rock, while later versions were built using stone, wood, or brick. The newly discovered temple is particularly remarkable because it was constructed within the city complex rather than as a separate religious site. The temple sits atop the remains of an early palace complex.
ईस्वी सम्वतको 1898 मा भारतीय पुरातत्वविद पीसी मुखर्जी यो क्षेत्रमा काम गर्न आउनुभयो। त्यति बेला लुम्बिनीको खोजी भइरहेको थियो। त्यही वर्ष अगाडिदेखि लुम्बिनी प्राप्त भइसकेको थियो। लुम्बिनी प्राप्त भइसकेपछि लुम्बिनी चिनिसकेपछि कपिलवस्तु पनि यसैको सेरोफेरोमा हुनुपर्छ भन्ने हिसाबमा खोजी गर्दै अन्तखेरि उहाँले चाहिँ उत्खनन गर्नुभयो। उत्खनन गरिसकेपछि पहिलो पल्ट उहाँले नै दाबी गरे।
The walls are approximately 1.5 meters thick and the overall structure measures 100 meters in length and height. Following the abandonment of the palace, the site became a major center for devotion and monasteries were constructed over the remnants. This discovery establishes Tilarakot Kapilvastu as an important center of early Buddhist worship, enhancing our understanding of the ancient religious structures and urban planning in the region. This historic find not only strengthens the preservation and promotion of Nepal's archaeological heritage, but also underscores the long-standing religious significance of Tilarakot Kapilvastu. Situated in the same province as Lumbini, the birthplace of Lord Buddha, Tilarakot Kapilvastu adds another layer to Nepal's extraordinary Buddhist heritage, attracting scholars, pilgrims, and global heritage enthusiasts alike.
From the historic discovery, we now move east in Nepal, where construction is racing ahead on the much-anticipated Falgunanda trekking route. This ambitious ecotourism project in Kosi province aims to blend cultural heritage with spiritual significance, promising a new frontier in rural travel. Slated for full operation by 2028, the route is set not only to boost tourism but also promote spiritual work. Construction of the 56-kilometer Falgunanda trekking route, primarily in the eastern districts of Nepal, Ilam and Pasthar, has been accelerated. The trekking route is expected to be complete by 2028, with construction particularly intensified along the streets from Maipokhari to Chintapu. The trail, starting from Fidim in Pasthar, was surveyed last year. The project is a joint initiative of the federal, provincial, and local governments. Once completed, the Falgunanda trek will connect Maipokhari, Chintapu and Sandakpur, offering a rich cultural and spiritual experience through the scenic landscapes of eastern Nepal. Named after the revered Kirat leader and national luminary Falgunanda Lingdil, the trail is expected to attract visitors interested in both spiritual and cultural tourism.
हाम्रो सन्दकपुरमा 15.6 किलोमिटर जम्मा रहेछ हैन यो पाली लगभग हामी 7.5 किलोमिटर जति यो पाली हाम्रो बन्छ यो ट्रेल अनि परिधिको संरचना पनि हामी लगभग 2-3 किलोमिटरको अराउन्डमा हामी बनाउने छौं.
The trail is expected to attract visitors interested in both spiritual and cultural tourism. Construction is currently underway in 4 sections, with the 7 kilometers planned for development within Ilam district. Local consumer committees are overseeing 3 trail construction and rehabilitation projects, along with 1 peripheral infrastructure initiative. According to Sam Rai, Secretary of the Construction Committee, the route will create local employment opportunities, support homestay business, and foster broader community development. In addition to promoting religious tourism, the enthusiasm of the locals in expediting the construction of the natural trails comes amid track records of delays in most of the projects in the country. The project is a rare example of all 3 tiers of government's involvement, along with the financial aid from the Swiss government. Nepal is home to an extraordinary mosaic of indigenous communities known as Adivasi Janajati, each preserving its own distinct traditions, rituals, and cultural identity. With more than 59 recognized indigenous groups representing 35.4% of the nation's population, Nepal's cultural landscape stands as one of the most diverse in the world. For generations, indigenous knowledge, skills, and practices have shaped not only community life but the very identity of the nation. Yet, as time passed and modernization accelerates, many of these invaluable traditions face the risk of fading away. In response to this growing concerns, an indigenous conference was recently held in Kathmandu, bringing together voices from across the country to preserve, protect, and promote Nepal's rich ethnic heritage. Nepal is home to 59 officially recognized indigenous nationalities, Adivasi Janajati, each with its own language, cultural practices, and traditional knowledge. However, many indigenous languages, folk songs, dances, and ethnic skills are now facing the threat of extinctions, and many are in the verge of disappearance. Experts stress that preserving this knowledge and cultural heritage requires urgent action. Recognizing this urgency, a 3-day Nepal Indigenous Knowledge Conference was held in the capital city, Kathmandu. The conference brought together more than 800 indigenous representatives from across the country. It was organized by the National Foundation for Development of Indigenous Nationalities under the theme Exchange of Knowledge, Preservation of Heritage, and Building the Future. Cultural knowledge sharing, preservation, and intergenerational learning was central to the discussions. Passed down from generations to generation, indigenous knowledge reflects centuries of lived experience and deep harmony with nature. However, the migration of younger generations away from ancestral lands as one of the foremost reasons creating gaps in knowledge transmission. Rapid modernization, urban migration, changing lifestyles, and weak institutional protection were also highlighted as contributing factors. Cultural experts emphasized the importance of documenting oral traditions through written, audio, and visual media so that they can be preserved beyond memory alone.
अब आजभोलिको जुन जेनेरेसन आजभोलिको जो संस्कारलाई एउटा विदेशी संस्कार ल्याउने मतलब यसमा आएको हुनाले चाहिँ हाम्रो पौराणिक जुन एउटा संस्कार संस्कृति पनि हराउँदै गएको देखिन्छ। तसर्थ यो संस्कार संस्कृतिलाई अझ पनि जगेर्ना गर्नको लागि हामीले यस सम्मेलनद्वारा पुनः पुरानै हाम्रो संस्कारलाई पनि जुन लोपामुख छ जो धेरै एउटा चाहिँ आधुनिक चाहिँ बनाउँदै आएको कुरालाई चाहिँ लोप गर्दै आएका छन् त्यसलाई एउटा चाहिँ पुनः जागरण दिनको लागि अर्थात् पुनः यसलाई चाहिँ सञ्चालनको लागि यसलाई जगेर्ना गर्नको लागि आजको यो सम्मेलन चाहिँ हाम्रो आयोजना गरेको छ।
The conference concluded that preserving indigenous knowledge in Nepal is not only about protecting culture but also about safeguarding identity, dignity and continuity for future generations. A collective effort from the state, indigenous communities nationwide, and especially the younger generations who carry this heritage forward is strongly urged to safeguard Nepal's indigenous assets. In many parts of remote Nepal, access to healthcare remains a luxury rather than a basic service. For countless families, medical treatment still means traveling long distances, often to district headquarters or even the capital. But in the hills of northern Dhading, that reality is beginning to change. In Ganga Jamuna Rural Municipality, a locally operated rural hospital is transforming lives by bringing free and quality healthcare services closer to home. This community-driven initiative is not only improving access to treatment, it is also easing the financial and physical burden on villagers who once faced exhausting journeys for even the most basic medical care. A small hospital making a big difference. In the remote hills of northern Dhading, Nepal, a quiet transformation is reshaping the way healthcare is delivered. With the establishment of a locally managed rural hospital, villagers are now able to access quality medical services within their own community. Through mobile health camps and door-to-door health services under rural hospitals, health workers travel to different villages, conduct screenings and distribute medicines directly within local settlements. The initiative has been especially important in Ganga Jamuna Rural Municipality, where many young people have migrated abroad for foreign employment, leaving behind communities largely made up of elderly residents. For years, residents of municipality had no option but to travel long distances to the district headquarters or even to Kathmandu for basic checkups and treatment. For elderly villagers and low-income families, these journeys were not only exhausting but also financially overwhelming. Today, residents say the impact has been profound. The need to spend money on travel, accommodation and costly treatment outside the district has been significantly reduced. Recognizing this reality, health workers have expanded their efforts beyond the hospital wall.
जस्तो त्यहाँ सुविधा धेरै राम्रो काम गरेको अब डिसी पनि राम्रो सेवा सुविधा छ राम्रो छ फाइदा हजुर अब काठमाडौँ जानु पर्दैन धाइसी जानु पर्दैन अब आर्थिक जोग्य भनेर हजुर.
This outreach approach ensures that even those unable to travel receive timely and essential health care. Local authorities view the program as a major step toward strengthening Nepal's primary healthcare system at the grassroots level. Inspired by its success, other remote local governments in Dhading district have recently begun introducing similar door-to-door health services, particularly for senior citizens. From the high Himalayas to the lower belts of Nepal, climate change remains a pressing concern, a topic we frequently explore here on the Hinterlands. In our final report tonight, we turn to Nepal's wetlands, including the internationally recognized Ramsar-listed Jagdishpur Lake, where a sharp decline in bird populations is witnessed recently. Nepal's wetlands are calling for attention and the clock is ticking. Nepal has 242 recognized wetlands covering 743,500 hectares, including 10 vital Ramsar sites of international importance, ranging from high-altitude glacier lakes to the tropical ponds. Key wetlands including Kosi Tapu, Jagdishpur, Ghoda-Ghori, Rara Lake, and the Gokyu Lake system, which provide crucial habitats for biodiversity in Nepal. These wetlands are critical habitat for over 500 species of resident and migratory birds. However, bird populations, particularly at Jagdishpur wetland in Kapilvastu district of Nepal, a Ramsar recognized site, are steadily declining. Spanning 157 hectares, Jagdishpur Lake is the second largest human-made lake in Asia. Increasing human encroachment and limited attention from authorities have caused bird numbers across the country's lake to drop year by year. Latest census recorded 90,688 waterbirds from 89 species, nearly 6,000 less than last year. In 2018, the lake hosted 23,000 birds, but by 2026, only 10,282 remain. Experts attribute this decline to human activities, unplanned use of wetlands, and climate change. Boating, picnic, noise pollution, and uncontrolled riverbed excavation have further stretched these fragile ecosystems.
जलपक्षी र चाहिँ आगन्तुक जलपक्षीहरू चाहिँ आज बाध्य छन् ती हाम्रो मानवीय गतिविधिबाट सिर्जित यी पोल्युसनसँग र त्यहाँ चाहिँ भएका चाहिँ सबै फोहोरहरूसँग चाहिँ बाँच्न विचरण गर्न र आफ्नो प्रजनन गर्ने अथवा चाहिँ बास बस्ने त्यहाँ चाहिँ विचरण गर्ने देखि लिएर त्यहाँ चाहिँ यो विश्राम गर्ने सम्पूर्ण गतिविधिमा चाहिँ असर चाहिँ त्यसले गरिराखेको चाहिँ पाइएको अवस्था छ.
Proper conservation and management of Ramsar listed wetlands in Nepal is an urgent climate and biodiversity priority. These wetlands span diverse landscapes from the subtropical Tarai Plains to the high Himalayas and include rivers, lakes, and marshes. And immediate attention from authorities and stakeholders is crucial to safeguard Jagdishpur Lake and other wetlands, ensuring these natural treasures are preserved for the future biodiversity balance in the country. Beyond the cities and the headlines, real lives continue to unfold. Stories shaped by struggle, strengthened by resilience, and carried forward by hope. This is the Hinterlands, and we will be back next week with more stories from the heart of Nepal. Goodbye for now.